You are now listening to the Do It Movement podcast, where we share our experiences in real estate investing and encourage you to take action. You don't want to miss what we have in store today, so let's welcome our host, Martine Richardson, and our co-host, Lord Eubanks.
What's up today, Do It Movement listeners? This is your host, Martine Richardson, your buy and hold coach. And I am joined today with my co-host, the Lori Eubanks. How are you doing today, Lori?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Me too. I know we say this all the time, but I love this standing appointment because no matter what, Lori has to talk to me at least once a week.
I think it's great. Gives us a chance to talk about deals. Sometimes we end up doing deals together, buying and selling to each other. So
That's right.
it's really helped a lot and talk through different strategies. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. So, let's start off today a little bit different. Let's talk about something. Tell me something that's good, or tell me something that you're grateful for.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to be grateful for. I'm grateful for you, girl. I mean, you're always bringing the community together. We just celebrated Freedom Fest with amazing
Ooh.
people and their families and tacos. And I'm just grateful for you. You're always pushing me, encouraging me. So I got to give you your flowers. They are so due. Every time we talk, we're always giving each other the best encouragement. And it just means a lot to me. It means the world. So I would cry, but not yet. We'll wait till later.
I appreciate that. And I want to tell you that the bouquet of flowers you just gave me are different from the bouquet that I'm about to give you.
Oh.
I just want to say, I just really enjoy like the time that we get to talk and share, and you're the hope dealer. So every time I talk to you, my energy could already be on 100, but when I leave, it's gonna be on 150 because I get to talk to the hope dealer. So I'm just so appreciative of you, and being a part of the podcast. And we got banging guests that come on here. We share so much valuable insight based off our experiences. So I'm grateful for you. You're amazing.
I feel the love. Thank you. Thank you so much. Speechless, girl. Like really, it's a pleasure. And so I know today, and I get things every time we talk from the guests, from you, every time we go into these conversations. I hope it inspires someone to do it now, do it investing, jump in, make offers, make deals, find out, how to get that freedom, the freedom of time, money, whatever you're going for, it can be designed. So it's exciting to talk about it.
Right. Now, talking about freedom, I just want to take a moment to talk about Freedom Fest. Oh my God. Like, I told y'all I wasn't hyping it. I was not hyping it. It was such a good time. Like, I know when we go to networking events, and I'll just talk from my perspective, but when I go to a networking event, I love the education. I love the teaching. But if I'm honest, usually it's so much that they're giving us. It's no way I could do all of those things. So I have to pick what I want to do from what we learn. So what I like at most of the conferences or the events we go to is the networking. So I'm so happy that I was able to throw an event, Freedom Fest, that was centered around the networking and meeting the people that are going to help get you to the next level, meeting the people that you guys' goals align. Maybe you need a lender and you're doing deals, and now you found a lender that can help you do the deals. Maybe you need a deal source. You found a deal source at Freedom Fest. So, and it was just nice, like, because the kids came out, they were having a good time. If I recall correctly, your youngest child, she came up and helped me give an award.
She did. She likes to be involved in conversations, even though she's 2, going on 3. So the bounce house was bouncing. Those kids did not stop. They were running. So I loved it.
Yeah, I remember the bounce house was actually a couple minutes late. And Diana was just like scanning the room at first, like, oh, it's a group of, old folks, right?
Yep, she was ready.
It's a group of old folks. And then she saw the bounce house. She's like, oh, the bounce house. So she like ran over there. And she had a really, really good time. I've been getting a lot of great feedback from it. People were really happy to either connect with new people
Yes.
or reconnect with people they hadn't been that they haven't seen in a while. So it was just a really good community oriented event. People won door prizes. I heard the tacos were banging. I just say I heard because I didn't eat a taco.
Next
I
time.
focused on the event. I didn't focus on eating. I ate when I got home. But it was a really, really good event. And some good positive vibes. I got really good feedback from it. So I am gonna host another event like that probably next quarter. I want to do this once a quarter. Once a quarter. So if you missed it, it's okay. Just get on my email list somehow so you'll know about that next event so that you won't miss out, because we had a really, really good time. And then for the people that wanted more info, like more strategies, more of how do I buy these properties without using any of my own money, I am hosting a 2-day virtual seminar with my friend Scott. And just to let you guys know who Scott is, Scott's also a coach, and he teaches. His coaching program is similar to mine, but we're different because he's more in the creative realm space. So whereas I will show you how to use private money to take down deals, Scott may tell you to structure your deal this way and still no money down, but it's just different tools to have in your tool belt depending on what deal you're looking at. So we are hosting that event. It's going to be Thursday, June 26th and 27th. It's a 2-day event. I'm going to put the link somewhere in these show notes so that you guys can register, but it's going to be incredible. And like, I was telling you guys about Freedom Fest and I was excited and I'm like, I'm not hyping it. I'm not hyping it. Like, we were working on the schedule the other day and I was like, wow, this event actually is going to be fun. A lot of times you go to events, right? And you're like, man, this is boring. Like, the paint is drying. Like, I see the paint drying on the wall. Like, this is what this feels like. But no, it's very interactive. And it's so that you can truly understand this stuff so you can get some dollars in your pocket. My whole goal in teaching and having a podcast and even opening my mouth to share different things is so that you can take this information and put some dollars in your pocket so you can use this information. We are called the Do It Movement Podcast for a reason. But yeah, if you're interested in that, just click the link in my bio or look in the show notes and you'll be able to register for that event.
The thing I loved most, on top of the family and everyone talking deals, strategy, it was just the other thing is that all the people that were, there supporting Freedom Fest, you had lenders, you had construction, you had title, you had, all kinds of people that were, supporting and sponsoring the event. So just a great way if you're new or experienced to meet vendors that are local is awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, not only that, we had people that had just started getting into this. Like, I gave an award out to someone that she just finished her first refinance on her first rental property. And and she just was so like, I asked her, was it easy? She's like, no, it wasn't easy. Was it worth it? Absolutely, it was worth it. And then she shared her experience of how it was and how it went and how she's not looking back. And now this person, we got to get her on the podcast now that I'm thinking about it. But
Yes.
now, like, she's doing deals all the time. Every time I talk to her, she's talking about another deal she's analyzing and how she's going to structure it. So just seeing her go from where she was to now having all this confidence to do as many deals as she wants is so rewarding. I loved it. I loved it. I can't say enough about it. If you missed it, look at the pictures. That's all we got right now. You have to catch the next one. You'll have to catch the next one. But today, what we want to talk about is the benefit of, well, not partnering, but the benefit of hiring over partnering. So I'll let Lori start this conversation.
There's so many ways you can structure real estate, and it's really what is right for you. And there is a right and wrong way in every category.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can make mistakes that cost money, ask me how I know. So, so when I think about, partnering versus just getting a lender to loan you money, I have a few thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
First, biggest pro is that you don't have to assume all the risk alone. But then again, you're buying always 70% and under loan to values. How much, risk, like all of those things are weighed depending on the deal. Everything is deal specific. Maybe if it's a bigger deal, you want a partner because you don't want to assume the risk solo. But I would encourage you to looking at using lenders over partnership, only because I've seen so many people's goals change. And I
Mm-hmm.
can definitely give a great example, but if you're partnering with someone, Martine, that is in a different stage in life, their goal may be different. They might want to
Right.
flip it quickly. And, if you get into a different exit strategy that would be more profitable, like, holding it longer term for lower taxes, more cash flow, all those reasons, it's
Right.
nice not to have to ask for permission to do that. If you can
Mm-hmm.
make more money going the other route. And then I've seen a hybrid where people do like a partnership or interest, and they put
Mm-hmm.
like whichever one is, more or less. It just depends on the deal. Everything is negotiable, and, just talking it out with a lender, I think is the best strategy, or talking it out with a friend to find out what's best for you. And then, just going out there and seeing what you can do. Because at
Right.
the end of the day, like a deal is better than no deal. So,
Right.
it really depends. Is it your first deal? Because maybe your options are different than someone
Mm-hmm.
who's more experienced. But for me, I love being able to buy a property and then maybe I'll want to flip it, but the profit, I'm like, if I hold it for 5 years, you're going to make 100 grand or more because you're going to pay a third less in taxes. And I guarantee you're going to make cash flow. And then not only that, you're making appreciation of 50 grand or more. So add those up, you're at least making 100 grand just going the hold route, in my opinion. And not
Right.
for every deal, but majority of my deals, that is true.
I mean, that is true. If you know how to buy right and you're buying in the right neighborhoods, yeah, you're looking at getting more equity up to 100 or more than 100K because you held the deal for a while. And that's why I like to preach holding so much. But I know, like, when it comes to buying rental properties, I do not like to partner when I'm buying a rental property. Like, okay, let me take a step back. I don't really like to partner at all. If I'm honest. But specifically, I don't like to partner on a rental property. And the reason is because, like Lori said, people's goals can change. You can be in a different stage of your life. So I'll let Lori share her example, but I'll share an example that's a little bit more relevant to me. So, for instance, let's say you're partnering with someone new. I like to buy and keep the properties. I'm okay with riding it out for a couple of years so that it can really appreciate, so I can really get those tax benefits, so that I can get that increase in cash flow. They're paying the property down, all that great stuff, right? But if I'm partnering with somebody that's new, they may have different goals than I have. Maybe they might be in a cash crunch where they need money now. So they may want to sell it a lot sooner than I want to sell it. And that puts us at conflict because it's like, oh, well, I was hoping to keep this bad boy forever. And you want to sell now. We're only on year 2. Like, what do you mean you want to sell? So, one reason I don't like partnering on rental properties is because of that. Because you don't want to be in a situation where one of the partners is upset because they want to sell and you don't want to sell. It's much better if I could just, buy the property either from you, or like you could probably get a lender that is going to lend you the money on the property instead of partnering with someone else. So for me, I don't really like partnering specifically on rental properties, only because we all have different goals, we all have different needs. And quite frankly, if I don't partner, I make more money. So if I don't have to partner on something, I'm not going to do it. So most of the time, I'm not going to partner. But I will tell you this, there are some deals I do partner on. You're like, dang, Martine, you're contradicting yourself. You say you don't like partnering. But I'll tell you this. So specifically, I like to partner on stuff that's in my retirement account because that helps my retirement account grow a lot. So like I could go from it being a little bit of money that I'm going to make from my retirement account to it being a big amount of money that's tax free if I just partner and structure it correctly. But for people that are listening, the reason that I wanted to talk about why it makes more sense to hire over partnering is because you will put more money in your pocket if you hire as opposed to partnering. I'll give you an example. I get approached often with people that want my help because they know that I know what I'm doing. I know how to structure deals, I know how to find them, I know how to do all the things. And they want a partner. And to me, for one, I don't really like partner, and I would rather you just sell me a deal. But I also think of it in terms of a standpoint for you. You could partner with me and make less money. Maybe you'll feel better, but you'll make less money. Or you could hire me and still have the same comfort and make more money. So that's why I always like to, when people say, hey, I want a partner, I'm like, well, I really don't, but I have an idea that might be better for you, because typically when they want to partner with me, they only want to partner with me because of my experience. They know that I'm going to make sure the deal goes the way it's supposed to go. So if that's your goal, and then like I know sometimes people are just a little fearful, right? They've never done this before. So, I've never done this before, so I want to make sure I'm doing this with someone that knows what they're doing. Well, you could still get those benefits hiring someone as a consultant or a coach, and you could still make more money. So like, I'll give you an example of like hiring, what's something I've done where I've hired someone and it helped me make a lot more money. So for instance, before I really understood how construction worked on these properties, I used to just hire a GC and they would just do all the work and call all the subs and all that stuff. And then I had an experience, and this came through a bad experience. So don't be like me, be proactive, not reactive. But through a bad experience with a general contractor once, it left me in a spot where I had to figure out how to finish the project. So what I decided to do, I could have done several things. I could have partnered with someone that knew the construction piece of it, and then we could have split profits. If I wanted to sell it, I didn't sell this property, but if I wanted to split equity or cash flow or whatever, that could have been an option for me. I could have hired another general contractor to come in and do all the things. But I decided to hire a consultant to teach me how to do it so that I wouldn't continue to need help on this same issue. So by doing that, that allowed my renovation cost to be way lower than it would have been had I hired a GC or had I partnered with someone that knew the construction part. I just paid them a fee. They showed me exactly the entire process that I could use over and over and over and over again. So now I'm at the point where I can manage my own renovations. And because so what I'm getting at is I paid one time to learn something that I could use over and over and over again that continues to produce money for me today. And that's the benefit of hiring. Now, I could have figured that out if I would have gotten, somebody to partner with me. I could have checked in, I could have asked questions, I could have done that. But then on that first deal, I wouldn't have made as much. And I think it's just a shift in mindset because a lot of people think, oh, I need a partner because they need someone to, like, I really feel like it's fear based. Like, I want a partner
Definitely.
I want a
Yeah.
partner because I just need somebody to walk the road with me. Well, somebody could walk the road with you that you pay, and you will make more money and you will benefit better in the long term. What are some experiences that you had, Lori,
Yeah.
that going the other route was better than partnering?
I loved everything that you shared is so valid. And, someone might feel different if they're in a full-time job. Maybe they can't, go that route of learning at that moment in time. But you're right. It is definitely fear-based because I asked myself that a lot, when I first started. I'm like, I asked so many people if they would partner with me or mentor, and everyone said no. But I'm so grateful for that. So yeah, an experience on partnerships. So I've had a few partnerships in my career that have gone really great and some that haven't gone so well. But I do want to share that every situation was a learning experience and saved me from making bigger mistakes down
Mhm.
down the road. So, I think in all situations, talk it out and consult with an attorney and get great advice. If you don't have a circle, an attorney is a great person if they're, you know, invest and have some investing experience, even better. So,
Mhm.
my experience was, I would say maybe 2016. I really wanted to grow with one of my lenders and show we were like in it together. And so we decided we would do partner. I offered partnership versus just regular interest and points like we normally do. And, the goal was to maybe hold it for a year or two and sell. And it was a great deal in Northside. We bought it. The renter at that time was like 91.
Oh
She had
wow.
lived in this property for like 27 years at that point,
Mhm.
and she had seen 5 landlords. So we were buying it with the renter in it. And um Miss Foster, I love that woman. So you can already tell I bonded with her right away, and I was like, I'll do everything to, keep this with you while you're alive. She was blind at that point, but
Mhm.
after we bought it, her eyesight came back and she
Oh
was just
wow.
like, yeah, I mean, she was. And so today she's 94. Well, but fast forward, I did the partnership with my lender, and after a year or two, they were like, it's time to sell, time to cash out. And the ARV had gone up a lot. It was probably like 250 at that point.
Mhm.
And so we decided instead we would figure out the value and I would pay him out through a refinance. And so that's what we did. But I definitely spent a lot more, because my goal had changed the deal. Miss Foster changed it. To be honest, I fell in love.
Right.
Today she's 94. She can, she's out there. I mean, she's doing great. She's thriving.
Right.
Today it's worth like 350 and I paid him out. I
Mm.
would have paid, less if I had done interest and just gone to a 30-year loan, but it
Mhm.
was really because I wanted to show that, I was in it with them and we could make more together. But I think he was happy at the interest and points. My advice is, figure out what's right for you, but think about it. How many things and how many factors can change throughout a deal? You might spend more, you might, fall in love and want to do the cash flow in long term. You just don't know sometimes if things will stay the same.
Right.
So,
And a partnership is essentially a marriage. Do you
yes.
want to be married to this person? If they aren't your spouse, probably not.
Yes. And
Probably not.
yeah, that's a great point because if like me and you are in a partnership and a deal and something happens to me, like you would deal with my family. And I don't know if you want
Mhm.
to be in a deal like with my family. Like if you don't really know that person's family, you may want to think about the structure and like just the worst case situation. But I
Right.
agree, it's a lot more, safe if you're going into just one person's owning it and you're doing services versus partnership. So I love that.
Right. Yeah, I think just like looking back over times that either people asked me to partner or I thought that I wanted to partner with someone, it's usually because I mean, if aside from fear of not doing it by yourself, but it's like you want someone to walk the path with you. Like you don't want to do this alone, you know? So you say, okay, well, what's the best way for me not to do this alone? Let me get a
Yeah.
partner. Well, let me guys give you some great advice that has helped me, and I'm hoping it has helped Lori as well. But if you want a partner, why don't you just get a friend that's aligned with you and just
Mm,
bounce ideas off of each other?
yes.
So essentially, you're not alone. You can still have that support system that you're
Yes.
looking for, but you're the only one that's like on the title, like on the deed of the house. Like you don't have to necessarily partner on the deal. You can have a strong network of people around you that can help you feel like you're not walking alone and that you can, share ideas with, and, people give you things that maybe you didn't think about that can
Mhm.
really help you along your journey, but it'll help you way more than partnering with someone. And I know people are like, yeah, whatever, that's baloney. But you're gonna make, and I mean, I'm not trying to just make this about money, but this is what did we get in real estate for? We want freedom, but we needed to make money to have the freedom, right? So you would be saving hundreds of thousands of dollars by not partnering. So to put it in dollar figures for you, hundreds of thousands, not tens of thousands, not just a couple thousand, hundreds of thousands of dollars that you save because you decide that you're going to you are going to launch your company on your own instead of you having to partner with someone. It just what you realize later on is, man, it was nice having somebody that could walk that road with me, but could have got to this goal I wanted to get to a lot sooner if I hadn't have been partnering with people. So, I guess what I'm saying is partnering is okay, but not in a sense of this person and I, we own this company together, or this person and I, we need to do every single deal together. I'm more so under the, I guess, thinking of partnering as I have a network of people that I can share my experiences with and we can collaborate on that level, but I'm doing my own deals.
I love everything you said. And listen, this might not be advice for married people. Like this does not apply to you. This is for people that are not in a relationship, okay? So take it for that. But I love everything you said. I remember when one of my houses literally burned down and you were the first person I thought of. And I'm like, gosh, it was one of those moments where it was like a oh snap moment, except not those words. Like you're like in it. And it's like you
Right.
got to phone a friend. So, but people in my circle, I've called in tears many times and they supported me as if they were there with me. And that bond was there. I didn't need a partnership to create the bond. You just need the
Right.
relationships. So, and I remember your response when I was like, look at this house that burned down. Oh my gosh. And you were like, must be a motivated seller. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was thinking, yeah, it's me. And she's right. So I did end up selling that deal to Martine. So it's just,
That
but and we had insurance, everything was fine. But in that moment, it's a scary place to be when you feel like you're on that island alone.
Right. And just to talk about that deal specifically, I remember you sent the news article or something to me, and I was like, "Oh, it looks like a motivated seller." And he was like, "That's my house." And I was like, "Oh, are you motivated?"
Yes, I
And
am.
I remember we had talked about it a little bit, but this is
Yeah.
back when I had like a team. and we were like preparing the offer, and I was waiting for you to agree on a number so that we could do the deal, right?
Right.
And and then like my assistant's like, I already sent it. And I said, you already sent it? We didn't even agree. Like I was giving them a hard time. I was like, we
Yeah.
didn't even agree yet. Why did you send it? And then like you text me and you were like, I signed it. And I was like, oh wow, that was brilliant.
It's done.
I was like, that was brilliant, because I was like, oh my God, we didn't even agree yet. Why would you even send that? And then it just all worked out anyway. So that was amazing. But that's a form of partnering, but not really partnering, right?
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
okay, I'm going through a rough situation. I don't know if I really want to deal with having to fix this bad boy up. And I'm over here like, I want to fix it up.
You were excited. I was excited because I got the insurance money and I could sell the property. I mean, it was like 35 grand I got from you, but then I got like 100 grand or over 100 from the bank. So not the
Right.
bank, the insurance.
Insurance, right.
So, and it paid off the note that I had. So it was like everyone won and I made the profit without doing any work. So
Right.
that's great. And it was rented. Nobody was harmed. It was a grease fire from the renter, unfortunately. And because it was renter's insurance, you know, we were able to, everything worked out. Like I was paid within 2 weeks.
Right. So, yeah, so I definitely agree with you in terms of like, you know, having that support system. If you want somebody to walk with you so you're not alone, just having a strong network around you. But if you're like, man, I have no clue how to do this, I want to do this, I would recommend that you find somebody that knows how to do it. And I mean, guys, hire them. Just pay them to help you. Everybody wants to pick your brain and they want to get all of this information for free. But if I'm honest with you, I really started elevating me. This is just my experience. I started elevating when I started joining different programs. When I started hiring coaches to help me. Just to put something into perspective for you, I remember when I first started, I was only wholesaling because that's all I knew how to do. Like I didn't have any money, and they said that you could wholesale with no money. And I said, wow, sounds like it's for me. So I went that way. I went that route. And then later on, I found out that you could, you know, buy and keep these properties and still use somebody else's money to do it. But anyway, before I joined a coaching program, I think my average wholesale fee, well, not even my average, my highest wholesale fee was $10,000. That was the biggest one I ever had. And I think the average might have been like 5,000, maybe. So I don't know. If I did the math, I would say it's probably like 5, because I had some little, some big, which was 10 was big.
Yeah, it still
these
is.
numbers, I was gonna say these numbers may be outdated, I don't know. But 10 was the biggest. Once I joined someone that was like crushing it in wholesaling, that highest fee of 10 turned to my average fee of being 20. Average, not highest, average. And if I recall correctly, the biggest fee I had, so I think it was 100,000 for a fee for wholesaling, but it included some expenses. So I think once the expenses were taken out, the fee is probably about 80. So I made like $80,000 not doing anything. And I remember that house. That was a special house to me. This is the house I met my husband at. Actually, we had a garage sale. we bought the house, and it had a lot of nice new stuff in it. It was a little dirty, but it was new. So I got my brother. I was like, hey, you want to help me clean up this stuff? And we have a garage sale and we can split the profit. So he was all for it. He was like, oh, I can make some money. Sounds great. So we had the garage sale and we made some money. I don't remember how much money we made, maybe a couple thousand, because it had some nice stuff in there. And then that's actually the house my husband came to, and he bought something, and that fan that he bought just broke recently. But anyway, what I'm really getting at here is that was not possible for me at first, because I didn't have that knowledge of how to make more from these same deals. Like when I went around and just asked people, I was like, what's an average assignment fee? Everybody told me $8,000. And I was like, well, I got one that was 10, so maybe that's not true because I did get a little bit more. But I learned from other people by hiring someone that that really helped the trajectory of my real estate career. So I could have partnered. The deal I said the biggest one I did was 80. I could have partnered, and instead of me making 80, I would have made 40. Just to put that into perspective, guys, because I partnered, my profit would have went from, instead of making 80, I would have made 40. Or I could just pay someone a couple $1,000s and I can make 80. Not $40,000 I'm paying them. I'm paying them like, I don't know, 6,000, 8,000, however much the coaching is, right? And now I'm able to make 80 and I don't have to split. So what we're telling you is from experience. It's from us being in this for a while that, we may have partnered on deals in the past. I've partnered on rental properties in the past. And I realized that's not for me. I've realized it's not for me. But because of that experience, now this is hindsight. And I hope you use this information for you, especially if you're just getting started, because you don't have to make the same mistakes that we made. You don't have to pay out all of these big, large sums of money when you could just hire or get someone to be the lender or whatever the case may be, because you'll end up paying a lot less than you would have paid if you were to partner with people. So I just wanted to knock that out the park and drive that point home.
Yes. And if I could put out a shameless plug, if I can help anyone in any type of deal, my advice is you learn by experience. So if you are looking to sell and you have questions, like I love doing deals with people, and tell me what you'd like to learn. Do you want to learn these process? So that's how I learned how to use private money. I asked Jim Ingersoll and I bought a property from him and got a private lender, and he taught us the paperwork and everything. And we were just like so excited. And all I had to do was do a deal with him to learn. So if you guys want to learn, I'm happy. Let's do a deal. Let's send me a deal if you have one or want advice. So appreciate that, Martine.
I love it. I love it. So I guess in terms of partnering versus hiring or structuring deals differently other than partnering, what is a game changer that you learned that you think will really help someone that's listening right now?
A game changer, I would say, really just believing that you can do it and say it out loud, even when you believe the opposite. Watch what you say, how you speak to yourself goes a long way. So I would say today that I'm taking my own advice, I'm doing something that is kind of scary. It's a different thing that I'm used to. And I just have to say it verbally, vocally, like, I can do it. And why can't I? Like, it's just because I haven't done it before. So it's refreshing, but it's scary. So you can do it. Just tell yourself out loud, believe it, write it down. I think that's the advice today, and I'm giving it to myself.
I love it. I love it. I think something that I think is a game changer is it's you need to find, if you are just starting, you don't know what you're doing. And that's typical. That's typically the people that usually ask me that want to partner because I have the experience. So they want to partner with me because they want to make sure it goes well. But I want to shift your mindset. Instead of partnering, think about how you can leverage someone's experience in a different way. So if it's someone, like if you're trying to do this, right, and you have absolutely no clue what you're doing, and you want to make sure that you make the least amount of mistakes as possible, I think it's very wise for you to find someone that knows what they're doing that can help you through that process. I think that's very, very smart. It'll help minimize the amount of mistakes that you make. But instead of you partnering with that person, I'm going to recommend that you either hire them as a coach or a consultant that can really help you and guide you and go through that process with you, so you still have someone that can help make sure that you minimize your mistakes. And in addition to that, even if you have the money to do deals yourself, even if you have the deal flow to do deals yourself, if you don't have the know-how, you're probably going to make a lot of mistakes. And I mean, even with someone's help, you're probably still going to make mistakes. Like, I mean, this is inevitable. We make mistakes, all of us. We still make mistakes, right? But you want to try to make as few mistakes as possible. You want to make the least amount of mistakes as possible. So I would advise you, even if you have everything that you need to do the deal, it probably would be advantageous for you to do a deal with someone that they have the know-how of how to do it, but not as a partner. Do it as someone that is a coach, a consultant, because one, you will make more money, because maybe you think you need to use all of your money to buy these properties. You have to do everything cash, self-funded, where this person is probably showing you how to do it using somebody else's money, making you limitless. You can do as many deals as you can handle instead of doing as many deals as your money can handle. So just think about it from a different perspective, because it's going to help you in the future. Like, it's going to help. Once you learn the process, then you can start doing this for yourself, and you don't have to sacrifice giving out a large lump sum. Like, I mean, it sounds good at the beginning, like, oh yeah, let's partner. And then you say, oh, we made $100,000, and now you got to give me 50. Like, you don't have to go through that. You don't have to go through that if you just go into it with the end in mind, trying to make as much money as you possibly can, and just get someone that can help you. But just realize, people usually, if they're going to help you, they want something out of the deal. So like you said, that someone helped you and they sold the deal to you, or you bought the deal from them, if I'm not mistaken. So they made some money when they did that. Just realize people's time is valuable. They want to help you, but not at the expense of themselves. So I just want you to keep that in mind when you're thinking about getting into something that you want to learn. And people want you to learn, but also you have to realize that people are busy. They have other things to do. If you think like me, revenue is in first position, so I'm going to do the revenue producing activities first. And if your activity is not producing any revenue for me, it's not going to be high on my list. So I'm just going to be real frank and honest with you about that. Is there anything that you want to leave the people with before we go?
I just want to say, for the people that might be listening, where I do have a partnership with, because I do have a couple active partnerships and I love them so much and appreciate them. And it works, that type of structure works for those deals that we're working. And so I don't want y'all to take this advice, like, never partner, but look at the deal and figure out what's beneficial for you. So just go back to that and, happy investing.
Now, if people want to get in touch with you, Lori, what's the best way to reach you?
Best way, I mean, I'm on all the social medias and love talking deals. Martine will share my email address, and anyone who is in Virginia, buying, selling, renting, lending, all the things. We are deal making and would love to connect.
Okay. Well, I got a couple of things that I want to say was the best ways to reach me. So, as I mentioned before, having a 2-day seminar, the Financial Freedom Blueprint. I'm doing it with my friend Scott. If you want a couple of tools in your tool belt, you want to be able to analyze these deals. How can I take down this deal and keep it, make some money from it? Maybe you want to make a higher sum of money from it. I want to highly encourage you to sign up for that, because you will leave with actionable things that you can use in right now that can help put some money in your pocket. The best way to reach me outside of that, if you don't want to go there, I understand, is to go to my free buy and hold group. It's called The Freedom Inc. It's on Facebook. We do a case study every Tuesday night where I show you how to buy a deal using none of your own money and how to structure it so that you can produce income from it consistently, passive income from it consistently. But until next time, Do It Movement listeners, see ya!
Thank you for tuning into our show. If you need more handholding on your rental property investor journey, book a 15-minute strategy session with Martine. We can see if you're a fit for the Freedom Inc. fam. Link in the show notes. Also be sure to join the free Freedom 8 Facebook group, where each week Martine goes over a real-life rental property investor deal and shows you how the deal was found, how to get the money, and how to make it cash flow, and much more. If you'd like to connect with Lori, be sure to email her at vitalizeproperties@live.com. Until next time, see ya.